Have you ever really thought that a name could be more than just a word? That it could be a whole life philosophy written right there for everyone to see? Well, today we're unlocking the secrets hidden inside the names of the Wonju Byun clan's ancestors. When we look back at historical figures, we usually just get the facts, right? We see their titles, their big accomplishments, their birth and death dates. It's kind of like reading an old-fashioned resume. But here's the thing, those facts, they don't really tell us about their character, do they? They don't tell us about their dreams or the core principles they actually tried to live by. So how do we find that out? How do we get to the heart of who a person really wanted to be? Well, it turns out the answer has been hiding in plain sight this whole time, right there within their names.
So in traditional Korean culture, a person often had two special names. First, there's the Jae, or the courtesy name. This was usually given by parents or a mentor, and it reflected all their hopes for you. But then there's the Ho, or pen name, and this is the really cool part. The Ho was often chosen by the person themselves. It was basically a public declaration of the life they wanted to lead and the values they stood for.
Let's start at the very beginning with an uncle, Byun Anyol, and his nephew, Byun Suk. Now, their self-chosen pen names tell you everything you need to know about the kingdom and transition they were living in. Byun Anyol, the uncle, chose the name Daein, which means great hermit. You can just feel it, right? He was looking for inner peace, a way to get away from all the worldly troubles. But his nephew, Byun Suk, was living through the fall of the Goryeo dynasty, so he chose Moryeodong, which means Hall of Longing for Goryeo. Wow, talk about a powerful statement of unwavering loyalty. Now, from this point forward, we're going to be following the descendants of Byun Suk, who founded the Duke Jeonseo branch of the clan. Okay, so this timeline is awesome because it shows how the family's core values, reflected in their courtesy names, literally evolved over centuries, often in direct response to what was happening in the world. For instance, in the 6th generation, right in the middle of all this social chaos, Byun-wee's name, Tathyo, expressed a deep desire for harmony with nature. Then, fast forward to the 9th generation, after some absolutely devastating wars, and Byun Yejin's name, Hyungbo, suddenly emphasized brotherhood. See the shift? Later, in the 13th generation, Byun Hankuk's name, Ikjae, was all about cultivating personal talent to help society. And by the 17th generation, Byun Ji-hyun's name, Sunwon, stressed the importance of a good start, having a strong, ethical beginning to live a meaningful life.
But a name isn't always just about a personal philosophy. Sometimes, especially in times of oppression, a name can become a quiet act of defiance. It can be a secret.
And that brings us to this man, Byun Hyung-sik. He was from the 19th generation, and he lived from 1881 to 1945. His courtesy name was Non-hoi, which translates to a special meeting. On the surface, a special meeting seems simple enough, but you have to think about the time he lived in, a period of immense national struggle. So we have to ask, what was so special about this meeting? And here is where the hidden power of a name is just totally revealed. Byun Hyung-sik lived his entire adult life during the Japanese colonial period. And it just so happens that Non-hoi was also the name of a secret Korean independence movement group, one that was disguised as a simple poetry society. So his name, Non-hoi, it wasn't just a name. It's believed to have been a hidden pledge of allegiance, a secret vow to fight for his country's freedom. And this incredible spirit of living by your principles, it continued right on through the turmoil of the modern era. It was carried on by ancestors like Byun Hye-pung, who worked to preserve the family's traditions through some really turbulent times, and Byun Eung-soo, who served his country as a Korean War veteran before becoming a successful entrepreneur. So when you put it all together, what we've really seen is that a name can be a record of a person's deepest intentions, their personal values, and their direct response to the world around them. It's a legacy of purpose passed down through the generations. Which leaves us with a final thought. For you, if you had to choose one name that really captured who you strive to be, what story would that name tell?